Hey Burn Bite family. Okay, real talk. You ever look at your plate during a clean eating phase and think, I need more food but not more carbs? If you have been bulking clean, cutting clean, or just trying to stay full without blowing your macros, today is your lucky day because we are diving into one of the most slept on veggies in the fitness world. It is humble, it is cheap, it is versatile, and guess what? It is a low carb volume king. Yep, I am talking about turnips. Now, I know what you are thinking. Turnips? Seriously? Aren't those just like decent food? Well, yeah. And that is exactly why you should be paying attention. In the next couple of minutes, we are going deep onto the underrated root veggie. You will cover how turnips can support your bulk without bloating your carb count, how they help with digestion and recovery, and why your clean eating meal prep must just be missing this little powerhouse. And don't worry, I'm keeping it real the whole way. No boring textbook lecture, just a casual chat like we are two gym buddies talking nutrition over a post-leg day meal. Let's get into it. First, let's give some credit where credit dues. Turnips are ancient, like ancient Rome ancient. These guys were cultivated thousands of years ago, mostly in Europe and Asia. For centuries, turnips were a staple in peasant diets. They were easy to grow, store, and cook. But in the modern times, especially with the rise of carb-rich diet, we kind of pushed them to the side. Then something interesting happened. As the fitness world started obsessing over low-carb living, intermittent fasting, keto, and teen bulks, turnips started peeking back in the spotlight. Why? Because turnips are what I like to call a macro magician. They look like a carb, they taste like a carb, they act like a carb, but guess what? They are not really a carb bomb like potatoes or rice. In fact, a cup of cooked turnips has only about 5 to 6 grams of carbs. That is less than half of what you would get from the same serving of white rice or sweet potato. So yeah, turnips may have started out feeding medieval farmers, but now they are making their comeback in gym meal preps across the globe. So how exactly do turnips help with our fitness goals? Let's break it down. But instead of just throwing stats at you, let's make this real. Imagine you are on a cutting phase. You are trying to stay lean, stay full, and still power through heavy compounds lifts, deadlifts, squats, you name it. But you keep hitting that wall where you are hungry, tired, and starting to eyeball that cookie on your roommate's desk. Enter the turnip. When you roast, mash, or saute a bunch of turnips, you are essentially creating a high volume, low calorie filler. So instead of eating half a cup of brown rice and calling it a night, you get a full bowl of buttery, soft, roasted turnips with the garlic and herbs. Far away, fewer carbs and calories. They are like the background singers in your meal. They let the protein shine, but they make the whole performance complete. And if you are bulking but doing it clean, trying to avoid dirty calories from fries and fast food, turnips give you way to fill up without adding junk. They support digestion with fiber, help regulate blood sugar, and even bring in some decent amounts of vitamin C and potassium, which we will talk about more in a minute. Here's something I personally love. After a heavy leg day, my muscles are wrecked. My appetite is through the roof, and I need something comforting. Mashed turnips, a grilled chicken thigh, a side of sauteed spinach, boom. Comfort food, zero guilt. They are also easy on the gut, which is huge. If you are ever tried bulking and ended up bloated, sluggish, or just constantly gassy, we have all been there. Then you will appreciate how gentle turnips are compared to the cruciferous veggies like broccoli or Brussels sprouts. You can digest turnips without feeling like you have got a builder sitting in your stomach while you are trying to hit the incline dumbbell press. And if you are thinking, but do they help with muscle gain? Well, indirectly, absolutely. They don't pack protein themselves, but they are perfect for meal balance. When you are trying to hit your macros and stay consistent, that satiety and ease of digestion turnip give you. It is major asset for staying on track. Now, before we start putting turnips on the pedestal, let's talk honestly. They are not perfect. First off, flavor. Turnips can have a slightly bitter, earthy taste, especially if they are older or not cooked properly. If you are used to sweet potatoes or buttery squash, the taste might be a curveball. But here's a tip: younger, smaller turnips are sweeter. And once you roast them, especially with olive oil, garlic, and rosemary, they mellow out beautifully. Also, turnips cannot totally replace carbs in every situation. If you are in a heavy hypertrophy phase, trying to max out glycogen stores for big lifts or endurance sessions, you will still need real complex carbs. Think of turnips more as a supporting player, not the star of the show. And don't forget, turnip greens, while healthy, can be bitter and contain compounds like oxalates, which might not suit everyone with the kidney issues. So moderation, as always, is key. Alright, so how do we actually use turnip in a way that makes sense for fitness goals? Let's talk real meal ideas. Imagine a post-workout dinner: grilled salmon, roasted turnips, and a side salad. Clean protein, healthy fats, and low-carb fiber. It is the kind of meal that keeps you lean but satisfied. Okay, let's say it's a meal prep Sunday. You cube up a batch of turnips, toss them with paprika and olive oil, and roast them for 30 minutes. They go great with lentil meatballs or a tempeh stir fry. You can even mash them like potatoes, add Greek yogurt for creaminess, and throw in chives for flavor. Some people even spiralize them into noodles, turnip zoodles. Anyone? Not as sweet as zucchini, but firmer and more filling. Turnips also helps when you are resetting after a cheat weekend. You know the drill: pizza Friday turned into a burger Saturday and donut Sunday. Monday comes around and you need to feel light again. A turnip heavy veggie stir fry or soup can help flush things out without starving yourself. And hey, if you are ever on a keto or low carb experiment, turnips can slide right in. They are higher in fiber, lower in sugar than carrots, and they work well in stews, soups, and bakes without tipping your carb scale. Think of turnips like the resistance band in your fitness routine. They are not flashy like a barbell. They are not as famous as protein shakes, but they add balance, control, and support in a way that keeps everything working smoothly. Turnips help you stick to the plan, whether you are cutting, bulking, or just eating clean because you feel better that way. They are not loud, they are not trendy, but they are effective. And sometimes the most underrated foods are the ones that make the biggest difference over time. If you have never tried them or have not in years, give a turnip a second chance. Your plate, your gut, and your macros will thank you. Alright fam, that is it for this round of veggie deep dives. But don't go too far because next week we are talking about beets. Yeah, those weird red roots that stain everything. But did you know beets are natural nitric oxide booster? That means better blood flow, better pumps, and faster recovery. So, if you want to eat something that literally helps you lift heavier, stay tuned. Until then, keep eating clean, training hard, and experimenting with the fuels you best. This is Burn and Bite signing off. Catch you in the next one.